Alright, let's talk about what made Resident Evil Village great. For starters, this awesome Coraline light creepy opening. It kind of reminded me of that part in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, that story time scene. It has a Potterhead, I love that. This is just me being greedy, and I know it's not happening, but it would be sick if this Village of Shadows storybook was like a little 2D platformer minigame or something for the upcoming DLC. So I played this for the PS4 because I'm poor, and I really didn't notice a huge drop off graphically. There are some texture pop-ins, but nothing that felt like I played a way lesser version of a game, which is good. So the game just takes off running pretty early. Oh, look at the baby.
I don't understand why you are so...
Mia, get down.
Hey, that's not nice. Village is set 3 years after the events of Resident Evil 7, and after some shocking actions by our old pal Chris, our protagonists Ethan and the baby are brought to the mysterious European village where the baby has been kidnapped. Now, you must investigate this freaky little village to rescue the baby, Rose. The first zombie encounter in the Resident Evil games is a huge tone setter. You're scared of the unknown. You don't know what can or will happen. They just let your mind race with tension without having the need to actually scare you most of the time. And it definitely throws a lot at you at the start.
Ow, Charlie! Ow! Charlie, that really hurt.
Hey, he bit my finger off. What the hell? Well, at least I have my other hand. My main problem with Resident Evil 7 was they did the spooky scenarios, but once you see what it is that's lurking and you have a weapon in your hand, it all of a sudden doesn't become that scary. I do believe Village maintains that tension throughout, even with weapons in your hands, and sometimes they take them away. There are so many more types of enemies that keep you on your toes. Of course, the franchise is known for zombie-like creatures, and in this entry, vampiros and werewolf enemies are brought in, and I thought this was a brilliant move. Lycans kind of look like Goliath from Gargoyles without wings. You remember that show? That was my shit. But they were intimidating and stressful, especially in a large pack. Motherfucker riding horses, dog? To me, the shotgun feels like a nice warm blanket, and it provides comfort and safety. If anything got too close, I knew I could just blast it away, but I know it wasn't going to save me from a jump scare or three. I appreciate how the jump scares are delivered. Clever and well designed, no cheap shit. Like all of a sudden it pops up, but clever in a way where they have you read something in the document and it says, look around in the window. And you look at the window and you start to look at her code and you start to read it, and all of a sudden some bitch pops up. The game got me a bunch of times, which adds to the tension of not letting you relax or just run through it because you never know what or who may lie ahead. Which brings me to what I think is the best part of the game along with the story, and it's the who lies ahead. There are 4 mutant lords, each with their own strongholds, scattered across the village. Capcom did a genius job in pushing one of the lords from a marketing standpoint more than the others. Even if you haven't played this game, you probably already know who I'm talking about. Yep, the thickest vampira lady ever created. Lady Dimitrescu. Lady Dimitris? Lady Dimitrescu. Lady Dimitrescu.
Dimitrescu?
Oh, okay, thank you. Lady Dimitrescu. I can't possibly believe Capcom knew the internet was going to internet.
Yeah.
With this Amazonian curvy lady. They were brilliant in making us believe she's the literal big bad. Little did I know she's only one of 4 bosses, and she might even be the weakest one. I never understood why the internet to her. I mean, what's the big deal? She's just a giant... Oh, I get it now.
Mama!
Yeah, I really can't explain what it is, but all I know is that I get it now. Oh no, my good hand! The game also does a great job in putting you in Ethan's shoes, so everything that's done to him, which is a lot, you feel every stab, every shiv through his hand, every bite. You can feel every piece of damage that is done to him.
Wait a minute.
Wait, I don't think that's how that works. could you do me a favor? Could you give my man Ethan a like for pressing his hand back together? And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe if you like this content. Thank you very much. Anyway, like I was saying, thick-ass vampira lady isn't the only boss in the game, and I believe the design and how their stories play out are the strongest part of the game too. From Walter White to the creepy doll lady to Michaelberto right here, even Ralphime aka the Duke. He's interesting enough that I care and I want to know. And I love how you start mistrusting him, but the more and more you find him, his presence makes you feel relieved. Like, there's my boy. By the end, he's a friend. And after a while, you feel joy seeing him because as a merchant, he aids you along the way, selling you upgrades and more powerful weapons. Item management has always been a thing in the series, but I do feel like that department fell a bit short this time around. I was never in any situation where I had to manage my items. I was easily able to keep upgrading my briefcase and comfortably buy and pick up whatever I wanted. And to be honest, I kind of missed that stress from the original games of, oh damn, I can't pick this up. I have to take this key back to the safe and literally manage the items. Here, important items and even your craft items don't take up space in your inventory. Crafting is also super simplified and I would say almost to a fault. It's just not as satisfying as previous games. Guns are smooth and feel great, but I will say that I did feel the game was a bit on the easier side. I only struggled a little bit in the final battle. It took me a couple tries, but nothing ever made me sweat due to difficulty. I was sweating bullets due to the creepy tone and settings though. Lady Dimitrescu's castle is a great setting for a level. And so are all the rest. The dollhouse was highly stressful and the scariest part of the game by far. It had the creepy trifecta of creepy house, dolls, and crying babies, and take away your blanket, so no weapons either. They really let your mind race on that level. Plus, if you know, you know. The locations feel like characters. The village feels like a whole entity. The franchise has always done a great job of making the settings feel alive, like a character in and of itself. And I feel like the games that didn't do that are the ones that sucked. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Are you gonna play piano right now? Aren't you supposed to be looking for the baby? Oh yeah, pianos open doors in this universe, I forgot. I usually never read intel in games, like why are you making me read, game? But the way Village does it is great. Catching you up with surroundings and reading info actually feels important, like you actually getting something out of it. I was excited to read whatever I came across because they made it important. Plus, there were a few tips on how to take on stronger enemies. The level design is top notch, how it all interconnects, they've always been great at that too. But the glue that makes the whole game stick together is a great story. I really enjoyed this story. Yeah, it's simple, you've heard it before, but how they made the events of 7 make sense here, and how the intel explains not only what's going on, but also what's going to happen in the future, I enjoyed very much. Building hype for the next game or whatever's to come, especially with this DLC. I don't usually play DLC, I think it's BS. But I might play this one. The story is compelling enough, and they made me care about the baby that I want to see what happens with her story. If you would like to see a video on the Shadows of Rose DLC, let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. And remember to always and forever, you do you.